Hey guys, so today is a bit of a weird video. It's a tea time video. I have my tea, and today it's David's teas. I have movie night. If you're familiar, that's what I'm having right now. It's a wonderful cozy drink. It's starting to get a little cold, so let's get through this. Today's video is a little interesting. It might be a little controversial, we'll see. I'm not thinking that I'm gonna say something terribly controversial, but you know, people can take things out of context all the time. So today is YouTube versus real life. The things that YouTubers do that real people don't. Let's start with some light-hearted topics and some makeup things that people do that real people don't do. So what kind of makeup things do you notice that YouTubers do that real people don't do? First, cake makeup. What is that? Even with my, like, I wish these trends of 2017 disappeared video, you know, like I hope we leave those trends behind video. If you want, you can check that out. I talk about some of these and I continuously see them over and over and over again. First of all, cake makeup, it's, you know, you layer your foundation and then you layer your concealer, and then on top of that, you put on what seems like a pound of powder. And it's flying everywhere and you need a vacuum after that, and you're inhaling it and it's just poof, and there's like this huge layer of powder under your eyes. Apparently you're doing like crazy eye makeup on top of that because there's lots of fall down on that. It's just like, it's a big mess, and it's cake amounts of powder. So if you measured flour for your cake, that's how much powder people use on their darn face every day. And that's very prevalent on YouTube, and I can't understand why. I understand a little bit. First of all, this is a photography technique that is good for TV. It is good for camera work. It is good for photography, so still photography as well. So obviously that comes across on a camera in a certain way. However, in real life, all of this looks absolutely terrible, terrifyingly terrible. It looks like it looks like spackle on the face. If you look close enough, which is, you know, arm length, you will see the spackle. Nobody does that in real life, thankfully. I really don't see people who do that in real life, and I don't want to see people who do that in real life. Why do all YouTubers do that? Why not do something a little bit more realistic that your subscribers might actually benefit from in general day-to-day life? Because most people do not do that, and if people do that, I mean, God bless you, go ahead and do you, but it's a lot of cake on your face. Like, it's a lot of cake, and it's not skin-like. It does not look like skin, it looks like cake. And then by the middle of the day, it will crack. It will crack in a really unflattering way. Just, no, this is TV, this is for TV. It's a technique for a specific, very specific profession. It does not need to be applied universally to everybody because it's not good for everybody. It's not useful for everybody. Let's move on to false lashes. False lashes are something that I very rarely know people do on an everyday basis. False lashes come out when somebody's going out and going big with their makeup. Yes, then I see people often wearing false lashes. First of all, there is a difference. I mean, obviously there's one, your natural lashes with or without mascara. Two, there is, you know, the false lashes, but they're the lash extensions. So those actually sit on your lashes and do not come off. That's where they live. They're glued to the bases of your own lashes, and I've had that done once. It was really pretty for a few days, and then it started getting wonky, and I was just over it. However, that can look really pretty if you maintain it. Very expensive to do. And number three is the false lashes. False lashes are a good intermediate for those of us who like a big lash, don't wear false lashes on day to day, but then we'll have like an event to go to and we'll glue a lash on. That makes sense to me. However, who does that on an everyday basis? Every tutorial that a YouTuber makes, all of a sudden, bam, huge, like 5 times more than you can imagine a real lash being false lashes every time without fail. Not all YouTubers do that, but a lot of them do that. But why? But why? Nobody wears false lashes daily. Who does that? Nobody does. I know actually a single person. She's my stylist colorist for my hair. She's very talented. She wears lashes on the daily. She told me she had this incident about a year ago when she did lash extensions and they were really irritating to her eye, and she couldn't book fast enough to go get them taken out. So she picked them off her eyelashes because it was really painful. Her eyes are starting to swell up from the irritation. So she like actually pulled them off, and she pulled off a lot of her natural lashes, and they still haven't grown back. So she just wears falsies on the daily. But I know seriously this one person in my entire life who wears eyelashes that are like false lashes on the daily. Nobody does that. So I'm not really sure what the deal is with YouTubers who do that every time they get on camera. It's not necessary. Nobody does that. It's unrealistic. Next one, fake tan all the time. Now I see plenty of YouTubers who do fake tanning on the daily. Not a lot of real people do fake tanning on the daily. I sure as heck hope that not a lot of people go to the tanning beds. This is not good. Don't do it. It's horrible for you. But you know, even if you do self tan, I remember in high school in like 2007 or something like that, it was a big deal. Everyone was either in a tanning bed or slathering themselves in fake tan and walking around like orange chicken wings. It was pretty funny. Now I know I'm still in touch with some of those people who used to do that, and they laugh at that time. Like, I can't believe I did that. I'm orange in every single picture and it's streaky galore. And it's fine. It's not a big deal to do it. Again, the same thing as with false lashes. People who self-tan all the time, I think, lose the sensitivity to realize that, first of all, your body and face don't always match. Your body's a bit streaky because you have to exfoliate like crazy to avoid that, and then you can never like keep up with the actual tan and exfoliation cycle. And then your hands are always weird looking. They always look super dirty. Like around the wrists, there's always something funky going on if you're doing it by yourself. And the actual hands, I haven't seen too many people do a very good job tanning online that they don't have any residual problem with their hands or with their arms or with their legs or whatever. Usually you can tell because it's streaky. The only way to avoid that is going to be to go and get a spray tan done. As I have spoken about, the lash extensions, although very pretty, still will come off a bit patchy because that's the nature of our skins. It sheds, and it doesn't always shed evenly. So it will come off a bit patchy, and that's normal. But at least at the moment, when you get it done, it'll look flawless because a professional spray tanned you and was able to see all the crooks and crannies and the crevices and get everything right. And that looks good for a few days. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that's the perfect way to go if you have an event to go to. And if you have, say, like a super white dress or some other color that looks much better against a tan, and that's the look you're going for, and whatever, like, do it. But self-tanning at home all the time will give you streaks, and it's very rare that people can do it to the same quality as a spray tan would give you. And obviously don't do tanning beds. That's just no, just terrible. Don't do it. Take it from a doctor. Don't do it. Just don't. Highlighting. And I love highlighting. I'm actually a very big fan of highlighting. I am somebody who has dry skin. So highlighting is my godsend and savior, and it looks fantastic if you do it right. Now, we all know about those YouTubers who want to glow to the gods, and there's an immense amount. And it is very strange looking most of the time because their highlight is so foiled and so metallic and so blinding that it's in complete and utter conflict with the rest of the face. I understand about accents, but if you have a smoky eye and a big juicy lip, and then on top of that a highlight, like, that is way too much, and it looks like a clown face. You don't have to have like blush galore to look like a clown. It's enough to do all of that at the same time. So, maybe do a little bit of a smokier eye and a highlight, or do a super like plain, clean makeup, no makeup, and then a highlight to pop. But that highlight, I swear, the metallic, glittery thing, a streak across your cheek, that is there regardless of what else is on your face, don't do it. Like, do look to Coco Chanel for advice when she says, when you're ready to leave the house, look in the mirror and take off one thing. We usually overdo it. Editing is very, very important if you want to look nice. If you are looking for, you know, the full-on drag makeup, then this is great. You know that's what you're going for. That's going to be what you achieve, and it's going to be fabulous. But if you're going for, I want to look really beautiful today, look, don't do all of this at the same time, and on top of that, foil on your cheekbones. Like, that's not flattering. Just usually isn't. And sometimes we as women have a really hard time having an editing eye on us, meaning that we have a hard time sort of going like, I'm gonna stop now. Usually it's like more is more is more is more, and it isn't. More is less much of the time that we do it. And when I say we, I mean I am guilty of that as well. I will sometimes wear too much jewelry, but I've really been trying to minimize it, because keep adding things on top of things on top of things, that's a sure recipe for a disaster. Makeup-wise, style-wise, jewelry-wise, life-wise. Just know when to stop. Another thing that I wanted to mention is purse collections. I love purses too. I have nothing against filming purse collections. What I find a little bit sick is when women, it's often women, start collecting very, very high-end items that they can't necessarily afford. So they go and they hunt it out in like some kind of like a second-hand used broker, which is nothing wrong with that. So say you're in love with an item and you really, really want it, and you really, really, really want to wear it, you acquire it, and logically you should be satisfied. You're like, okay, now I have this item and I feel really good about it and I like it a lot and I've been wanting it for a while. Now I have it, great. I'm good for a while. This is usually not what happens with the purse collectors, which I'm talking about right now. And it is an unfortunate thing stemming from the notion that I'm certainly not good enough as a person. So I need to add luxury goods that state my status and have a collection of these things which will elevate me in my own eyes and make me feel better about myself. And it ceases to be about that thing you like and you get it and you're happy with it. And it starts being about, I need more and more and more piled on top of one another. And most of these things, these girls don't even wear. They don't even love these items necessarily. They just keep it for the sake of, let's film a video about it. So it's a very warped view of, I am nobody without this. Like, if I didn't have my 5 Chanel purses, oh, how would I live? And she's wearing like one of those purses maybe. And the rest of them are just like hanging out in the drawer somewhere in a dust bag. I understand that, like the point of collecting, but the problem with that is that a lot of the self-worth of people tends to end up within items, things, bags, shoes. Like, it's very sick and it's not good to watch. I don't think it's healthy to watch. I used to love those purse videos. After a while I realized, like, well, this person doesn't have their own house, they don't have their own car, like their job is not providing for these things, and they have to scrounge and scramble things together to get those things that they feel they absolutely need to define who they are as people. This is really pathological. This is really not good. If you can't afford something, you shouldn't be having it. There's nothing wrong with not owning, say, a Chanel purse. It doesn't mean you're any less of a person. It's fine. You do not need these things. Like, it's just a piece of leather, for God's sake, to tell you who you are and how much you've succeeded in this life. It just doesn't make any darn sense. You end up in this hurricane of stuff and you end up a slave to trying to acquire more stuff, and it is a dangerous way of thinking. Don't do it. I'm pretty sure that the next few things I'm going to talk about are going to be near and dear to other people's hearts as well, because they're quite obvious and funny ways that bigger YouTubers are coming across as right now. And I'm talking about the entitlement of it all. It's incredible how entitled people feel, and it comes across in their videos very obviously, and then when they get criticism about it, they complain that people are jealous or whatever. In YouTube world, you're gonna get criticism whatever you do. Like, you know, it ultimately doesn't really matter who you are and what you do. If you're well known enough, you're gonna get criticized. Whatever you do, doesn't matter. So do you, and that's fine. What I'm talking about is, you know, complaints that people don't send them enough PR. People expecting for some reason that this little fling with YouTube that they had is going to continue into infinity. I don't think people realize that YouTube is a big regurgitative mechanism that is going to take you in and chew you up and spit you out, because that's how trends go. There's nothing permanent about YouTube. YouTubers come and go all the time. Channels stop being successful, and unfortunately, especially like there are a few channels out there who used to be successful, then became less successful. Instead of moving on with their life and finding something else to do, like, you know, your 5 minutes are over, and that's fine. That's what it is in YouTube land. Like, there are a few more permanent fixtures that are there that don't ever participate in any drama, but like a lot of the YouTubers will have a come up and then 5 minutes of fame and then a bit of a crash. That's how it goes. So have a freaking backup plan. Why do you think that it's going to last forever? It will not. Moreover, like, we see that happen over and over again, and every new one thinks that they're going to end up the next Nikki Tutorials, and you won't. There's one Nikki Tutorials. So that goes into the whole notion of stirring up drama over everything. Sometimes it's really irritating to listen to these kids, and I'm saying kids very loosely. They're adults, but they behave very maturely a lot of the time. And it's just incredible to me how they can make anything, any small, mundane, everyday thing into a tragedy. And it is not. And I'm like, oh my God, like what kind of things have you lived through or not lived through that you think that that is a problem? Give you an example. I was watching a YouTube channel yesterday, and I'll give you a direct quote. All the FML, tragedy over PR, makeup slip-ups, whatever. But this girl said, jean shopping in general is the most stressful thing ever. Is it really? Is it really the most stressful? Like, what have you not done with your life? Have you not gone to school, not gone to college? Have you not gotten a real world actual job ever in your life? Like, have you not had losses, tragedies, bad things happen to you, health issues? Like, why do you think that jean shopping is the most stressful thing ever? Is it a figure of speech? Things don't just come out of people's mouths if they don't actually feel that. So no, jean shopping is not the most stressful thing ever. It's stupid to say that. Don't say that. Or else, oh, my car needed some work done. It's the worst thing that ever happened. Like, it's not the worst thing that ever happened to you. Back the heck off. Like, seriously, stop it. Stop it, child. It is not the worst thing ever. And if you think also that your job as a YouTuber is the most stressful work in the world, take several seats. Some people have actual jobs and careers. What you're doing on YouTube right now is temporary. It's temporary, okay? Temporary. You will move on from this and you will do other things, and you know, you'll be a different person by then, I think. Anyway, so I'm ranting, clearly. None of this is in bad spirit, really. I'm just sort of talking about the things that come across my mind when I watch some of these YouTubers post their content. It can be quite interesting and entertaining, but sometimes it can be worrisome and, you know, make you think about where we're going as humans, because clearly there's a problem there. This is problematic. Tell me what you think. I don't know if you will agree with any of the lighter-hearted points or maybe the more serious points that I was trying to make throughout the video. If you disagree, that's fine. We're cool. You can have your own point of view, and in fact, apart from being mean, you can feel free to express it down below. Let's talk about it. I'm curious what you think. That's it for today. See you guys later. Have a good day.